You ever see a kid everyone writes off and then watch him quietly burn the whole rulebook? That was Eli Turner, 14 years old, invisible by choice, a hoodie for armor, and the mind of a mathematician who could run circles around the people paid to teach him. Jefferson Middle School's cafeteria was a war zone of noise trays clanging, sneakers squeaking, the air thick with the smell of reheated pizza and chocolate milk. In the far corner, Eli sat at a table meant for six, hunched over a notebook, pencil moving in smooth, deliberate strokes. Not doodles, not homework, but sequences, proofs, patterns that would stump most college seniors. To him, numbers weren't numbers. They were stories. Prime numbers were characters with stubborn personalities. Equations were conversations waiting to happen. But his classmates didn't see that. They saw the quiet kid who flapped his hands sometimes when deep in thought, the one who never volunteered an answer. And Dylan Morrison, star basketball player, son of a school board member, made sure everyone remembered that. He swaggered over, snatched Eli's notebook, squinted at the dense symbols. "What is this garbage? Trying to look smart, Turner?" Laughter erupted from Dylan's table. Eli didn't flinch, didn't argue, just smoothed the crumpled page after Dylan tossed it back, like restoring order to a small piece of the chaos. But that afternoon, in math class, Dylan's bravado cracked. Called to the board, he botched a factoring problem so badly that even MS. Alvarez had to gently redirect him. Then she called on Eli. The room went quiet, eyes drilling into him. He stood slow, careful, and solved it in under 30 seconds. 3 different ways. When class ended, MS. Alvarez leaned in and said, "You see math differently, Eli. That's not a weakness, it's a gift. Stay after school. I want to talk to you about something." That something was the state math Olympiad. 3 weeks away. She wanted him to compete. The thought made his stomach knot, but something in her voice made him not say no. MS. Alvarez paired him with Mr. Patel, a retired professor who didn't try to teach him math. He knew Eli didn't need that, but taught him how to survive distractions, how to breathe through the chaos. The morning of the competition, Jefferson Middle's ancient Honda Civic pulled into a parking lot full of luxury sedans. Inside the gym, desks were lined in perfect rows under a giant scoreboard. Most kids wore pressed blazers. Eli wore dark Walmart jeans and his navy thrift store hoodie. Remember, Danielle, his mom, told him to rope barrier, "You belong here. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." As he settled at table 32, a girl from Preston Academy stopped by Lena Sharma, 3-time regional champ. "I've heard about you," she said. "The problems here aren't like school math. They're designed to break you. Don't let them." Then she walked away, leaving him oddly encouraged. Round 1 began, and for 5 terrifying minutes, the words on the first problem blurred into nonsense. Then something clicked. He saw past the camouflage, stripped the problem down to its elegant core. By the end, he'd solved 6 of 8 problems. When the scoreboard lit up, Lena had 87 points. Eli, 85. Second place. And for the first time, the gym was looking at him with surprise instead of dismissal. Round 2 pushed harder. By the end, he was tied for first. Round 3 was brutal chaos theory, fractals, problems disguised as music theory, and mid-round, his hands started flapping. Then he saw Samantha at the barrier, tapping their shared anxiety rhythm on the rope. The grounding worked. He finished strong, still tied with Lena. Then Dylan appeared in the bleachers, smirking. And in round 4, a kid from another school accidentally scattered Eli's neatly arranged pencils and paper. A clear sabotage attempt. His skin crawled, his chest tightened, until again, Samantha tapped that steady beat. He restored his desk, restored his focus, and took first place outright. The final was public giant screens projecting every pencil stroke of the top 5 competitors. Cameras, reporters, every whisper audible. Dylan's voice cut through the supposed silence. "Look, he's freezing." And that's when Samantha, stuttering Samantha, stood up in the middle of the bleachers and yelled, "Shut up, Dylan. Elias Britze corrective." The first problem unfolded under his pencil like a map he'd known all along. He solved the second using a principle from an obscure online discussion. By problem 4, whispers from the crowd said, "Is he using Ramanujan's theorem?" Then came problem 5, the monster worth double points. Impossible unless you combined induction with graph theory in a way no one had dared. Illidorith. He didn't finish, but his structure was sound, the logic airtight. When scores appeared, Lena had 429 points. Eli had 434. He'd won. Cameras flashed. Danielle cried. Lena shook his hand and said, "You've changed how I think about mathematics." And then Mr. Patel took the mic. Some of you know Eli Turner. Online, you know him as Vector King. Gasps. Professors in the audience recognized the name, the mysterious forum user who'd helped solve problems that stumped graduate seminars. The 14-year-old from a school without an advanced math program was the mind they'd been learning from. Within minutes, a director from the prestigious Mathematical Acceleration Institute offered him a full scholarship to their summer program. Dylan, trying one last time, sputtered about cheating only for DR. Blackwood from the Institute to ice him with "money can't buy mathematical ability." And you just watched it prove itself. Monday at school, Eli's locker wasn't vandalized. It was decorated equations, portraits of famous mathematicians, a banner that read, "You belong with the greats." The quiet kids gravitated to his lunch table, Janet, the fractal artist, Kevin, the shy scientist, Trinity, the fantasy reader, Robert, the chess prodigy. "You didn't just win a math competition," Samantha told him. "You showed us it's okay to be ourselves." By afternoon, MS. Alvarez had started a math exploration club, naming Eli student tutor. Even Dylan, serving community service hours for the sabotage attempt, handed him a folded apology, awkward, incomplete, but real enough. That night, Eli sat at his desk, his father's watch in his pocket, the trophy catching lamplight. The acceptance form for the summer program waited on his screen. 8 weeks away from home, out of routine, terrifying. But as Danielle had said, being scared just means it matters. He clicked accept. Weeks later, the school unveiled his trophy in the front display case. The plaque read, "Eli Turner, proof that different doesn't mean less than." Standing there, surrounded by the friends he never thought he'd have, Eli realized the real victory wasn't the medal, the scholarship, or the headlines. It was this moving from invisible to seen, from ashamed to proud.